hello. I'm going to go and turn my monitor on. I'll be right back. There we go. Now I can see myself. All right. Hi, this is Carmine Sings. My name is Carmine Sings, and I look like a bit of a midget here because we need to get Phil out here to zoom in the camera. We got some new folks working on the show today. We got Pam Murphy is helping out in the booth, and Mr. Phil is doing cameras. So what you're going to see now is Mr. Phil getting a better shot of me with less headroom, since my name is not Max. That's a reference to a show called Max Headroom. You guys probably are too young to know what that is, and actually the older folks that watch my show don't remember anything. So why don't you just tilt everything, Phil, so that my head goes up in the picture. Watch this, folks. Here we go, going up. Oh, there we go. Very good. Okay. And today on Carmine Sings, we're actually paying tribute to Mr. Sammy Davis Jr. I've done other members of the Rat Pack before. Basically, of course, the most famous members of the Rat Pack, of course, are Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Sammy Davis. But there are other members of the Rat Pack which we're going to mention shortly. So for you folks at home that have watched the show before, you know I compile my information from Wikipedia. And as I always say, Wikipedia is not infallible, but they're pretty good about keeping track of what's on the different sites to make sure that the information is correct. So occasionally there will be an error in the information. If you feel there is an error on Wikipedia, I advise you to please be 100% sure before you ever edit an article on Wikipedia, because we want the information to be accurate. If you're absolutely sure it's accurate, then go for it. But don't be frivolous, because you don't want to say like Sammy Davis Jr. was born on the moon or something silly, because that's not fun. All right, so we're going to start by reading a little bio material for you, and I'm going to start at the beginning when Sammy was born, which is usually when it starts for everyone. Sammy George Davis Jr. was born on December 8th, 1925 in the Harlem section of Manhattan in New York City. He was an only child, and his father's name was Sammy Davis Sr. What a surprise, since his name is Sammy Davis Jr. He was an African-American entertainer, and Elvira Sanchez, his mom, was a tap dancer of Afro-Cuban descent. Davis' parents were both vaudeville dancers. Davis learned to dance from his father and his uncle, Will Maston, who led the dance troupe his father worked for. Davis joined the act as a child, and they became the Will Maston Trio. When Davis served in the United States Army during World War II, he was confronted by strong racial prejudice. Unfortunately, that was the case back then. During his service in World War II, the Army assigned Davis to an integrated entertainment special services unit, and he found that the spotlight lessened the prejudice. So at that point, we're going to take a little break. Sammy's in the Army, and we're going to sing the first song. The first song I'm doing for you was from the show Mr. Wonderful. And there was 2 hits in that show, the song Mr. Wonderful, and then this also became a hit called Too Close for Comfort. And I'm going to perform that for you now. And I won't need the glasses for that, so I'll take that off. I know guys won't make a pass at me when I'm wearing my glasses. Did I say guys? Just kidding. As I said, this was from the Broadway show Mr. Wonderful. Sammy appeared in the 1950s. Be wise, be smart, behave, my heart. Don't upset your cart when she's so close. Be soft, be sweet, but be discreet. Don't go off your beat. She's too close for comfort. Too close for comfort, please, not again. Too close to know just when to say when. Be firm, be fair, be sure, but beware. On your guard, take care when there's such temptation. One thing your comfort now. Mr. Sammy Davis Jr., one of the most dynamic entertainers of the 20th century, and I think definitely as talented, or possibly might consider it sacrilege for me to say this, maybe the most talented member of the Rat Pack. So we left off where Sammy was facing prejudice in the Army. After he was discharged, Davis rejoined the Family Dance Act, which played at clubs around Portland, Oregon. He began to achieve success on his own and was singled out for praise by critics, releasing several albums. Now, unfortunately, at this point, something happened to Sammy that was actually changed his life. And this was a terrible thing, but you know what? What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, as they say. So I'm going to skip ahead to this story because I think it's pertinent now at this point in the story to mention this. Davis nearly died in an automobile accident on November 19th, 1954 in San Bernardino, California, as he was making a return trip from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. Davis lost his left eye to the bullet-shaped horn button. If you remember the old Cadillacs, that was a standard feature on the old Cadillacs. Unfortunately, he lost his eye as a result of this accident. Interestingly, his friend Eddie Cantor came to visit him in San Bernardino's community hospital, and Cantor told him about the similarities between the Jewish and black cultures. Prompted by this conversation, Davis, who was born to a Catholic mother and a Protestant father, began studying the history of the Jews. He formally converted to Judaism several years later. In many ways, this accident marked a turning point in Davis's career, taking him from a well-known entertainer to a national celebrity. And that's kind of sad, unfortunately, but we're going to go ahead now and do another song to make it happy again. But that was important, and that event had to be reported in this bio, because that actually, as I said, was a turning point in his career. The next tune I'm going to do, I literally just learned last night, and we're going to give it hell, as they say. And this is my favorite rendition of this particular song, "Birth of the Blues," as performed by Sammy Davis Jr. I'm going to take another zip away. Oh, they say some people long ago were looking for a different tune, one that they could croon as only they can. They only had the rhythm, so they started swaying to and fro. They didn't know just what to use, but this is how the blues really began. This is the way the blues began. They heard the breeze through the trees, making weird melodies, and they named that as the start of the blues. And from a jail there came a wail from a down-hearted frail, and they played that as a part of the blues. Well, from a whippoorwill sitting high on a hill, they took a new note. Man, they pushed it through a hole until it was worn into a blue note. And then they nursed it, rehearsed it, and gave out the news that the Southland really gave birth to the blues. Oh, from a whippoorwill sitting high on a hill, they grabbed a new note. Man, gave out the news that the Southland gave birth to the blues. Everybody, they nursed it, rehearsed it, and gave out the news that that old Southland gave birth to the blues. That is my favorite Sammy Davis song of all time. No offense to my good friend Phil, who has another favorite, but I just love that song. So we're going to continue on with the story now. As you remember, Sammy had just gotten out of the Army, serving in World War II, and he had released several albums which were being critically acclaimed. In 1959, Davis became a member of the famous Rat Pack led by his friend Frank Sinatra, which included fellow performers Dean Martin, Joey Bishop, Peter Lawford, who was actually John F. Kennedy's brother-in-law. Sinatra named the group The Summit, but the media referred to them as the Rat Pack, which was the name of its earlier incarnation led by Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. The group also made several movies together, including the original version of Ocean's 11, in case for you fans of George Clooney. Originally, it was done by the Rat Pack. Sergeants 3, Robin and the Seven Hoods, as well as many joint stage appearances in Las Vegas and elsewhere. Although he was still a big draw in Las Vegas, Davis's musical career began to sputter in the 1960s, although he had a #1 hit on the easy listening singles, actually, and also it charted on the Billboard's Top 40, I Gotta Be Me, which was released in 1969. So what better time to go ahead and sing that song, and I'm going to dedicate it to our cameraman today, Mr. Phil, who happens to love this song, and he always asks me to perform it, so I'm going to do it here today. I Gotta Be Me. Who else would be? Nobody, trust me. Whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, whether I find this place in this world or never belong, I've gotta be me, I've gotta be me. What else can I be but what I am? I want to live, not merely survive, and I won't give up this dream of life that keeps me alive. I've gotta be free, I've gotta be free. The dream that I see makes me what I am. That faraway prize, a world of success, is waiting for me. If I heed the call, I won't settle down, I won't settle for less. As long as there's a chance I can have it all, I'll go it alone, if that's how it must be. I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me. I've gotta be me, I've gotta be me. The dream that I see makes me what I am. I'll go it alone, if that's how it must be. Well, I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me. I've gotta be free, I've gotta be free, daring to try to do it or die. I've gotta be me. That was a great song that Sammy recorded, as I said, in 1969, at a point in his career where things were not going so great, possibly, but he revitalized his career with that particular song. Sammy also had an unexpected #1 hit with the Candyman after he signed with MGM Records in 1972. Although he did not particularly care for the song, Davis made the most of his opportunity and revitalized his career again. He also occasionally landed television and film parts, including the famous All in the Family episode where Sammy kisses Archie Bunker on the cheek. And of course, he also did appearances on The Rifleman and I Dream of Jeannie and many, many TV shows. So at that point, we're going to go ahead and swing into our next tune here. This next one was also from a motion picture. The name of the motion picture was Something's Gotta Give. So, surprise, surprise, the name of the song is also Something Gotta Give. And we're going to give that to you now. So that's Something's Got to Give. We'll take off the glasses so I don't look like Clark Kent. Go. Take a sip of water. My brow like when an irresistible force such as you meets an old immovable object like me, you can bet as sure as you live, something's gotta give, something's gotta give, something's gotta give. When an irrepressible smile such as yours warms an old implacable heart such as mine, don't say no, because I insist. Somehow, somewhere, someone's gonna be kissed. For one God who knows what the fates have in store from their vast, mysterious sky. I'll try hard, ignoring those lips I adore. But how hard can anyone try? Fight, 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 fight it with all of our might. Chances are some fabulous star-spangled night we'll find out as sure as we live. Something really got to give. All right, and now also that song was also performed by Frank Sinatra and several other artists of the day, and it was a great song and a great movie. So if you have Netflix or Hulu or whatever streaming service you may have, check out Something's Gotta Give. Great flick. Now this is interesting. On December 11th, 1967, NBC broadcast a musical variety special entitled "Moving with Nancy." Let's see. We're gonna test Phil's trivia. Who do you think that Nancy they're referring to is, Phil? Could it be Nancy Sinatra? Yes, it is. The show is notable for Nancy Sinatra, daughter of Frank Sinatra, and Sammy Davis Jr. greeting each other with a kiss, which actually was one of the first black-white kisses in U.S. television history. And a long time in coming, if you ask me. But that was one of the first. We're going to just delve a little bit into Sammy's hobbies and other interests. Sammy was a fan of daytime soap operas, believe it or not, particularly the shows produced by ABC. This led to a cameo appearance on General Hospital and also a recurring role on One Life to Live, which is a show I used to actually watch for a while, one of my guilty pleasures. He played Chip Warren, and he actually received a Daytime Emmy nomination for that role. Davis was also an avid photographer who enjoyed shooting pictures of family and acquaintances. Here's something else you may not know. Davis was an enthusiastic shooter and gun owner. He participated in fast draw competitions, and Johnny Cash once recalled that Sammy was said to be capable of drawing and firing a Colt single-action army revolver in less than a quarter of a second. Now, if you don't think that's fast, you wouldn't want to be standing in front of that guy when he did that. So we're going to go to the next song now, and this next one that I'm going to do is actually it's kind of interesting. It's Sammy's take on an old standard, but he starts it off with a very interesting arrangement. It's a little bit of the Dance of the Sabers, almost like a circus sounding theme, but it goes into a very lively version of Old Black Magic. That old black magic has me in its spell. That old black magic that you weave so well. I feel those icy, icy fingers up and down my spine. That same old witchcraft when your eyes meet mine. That same old tingle that I feel inside. And then that elevator starts its ride. And down I go. Round and round I go. Like a leaf that's caught in a tide. Well, I should stay away, but what can I do? I hear your name, and I'm a flame with such a burning desire that only your kiss, 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 kiss puts out that fire. You're the lover I have waited for. You're the mate that fate had me created for. And every time your lips meet mine, baby, down and down I go. Round, round I go. Like a leaf that's caught in a tide. Yeah! Stay away, but what can I do? I hear your name and I'm a flame with such a burning desire. Your kiss put out that fire. You're the love, the love, the lover that I have waited for. You're the mate that fate had me created for. And every time your lips meet mine, baby, down and down and down I go. Round and round and round I go. In a spin, loving that spin I'm in. Under that old black magic core. You're a dirty robber, old black magic car. Uh-oh, get out the car, old black magic car. Under that old black magic. I just love that arrangement. That end sounds like the Pink Panther, doesn't it? Oh, the Stink Panther. All right, we're almost at the end of the show here, and unfortunately, at this point in the show, I always have to, with a lot of the artists that I pay tribute to, unfortunately, I have to mention that Sammy Davis Jr. was diagnosed with throat cancer in 1989, and when he was told that the surgery required that they offered him was his best chance of survival, Davis replied he'd rather keep his voice than have a part of his throat removed. So he was treated with a combination of chemotherapy and radiation, but unfortunately that was unsuccessful. So Sammy Davis Jr. died in Beverly Hills, California on May 16th, 1990 at the age of 64. He was interred in the Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California, next to his father and his uncle, Will Maston. And on May 18th, 1990, 2 days after Davis's death, the neon lights of the Las Vegas Strip were darkened for 10 minutes as a tribute to him. And I tell you, at that point, we lost one of the greatest entertainers of the 20th century, and in my opinion, of all time. So the last song I'm going to do for you is pretty funny. I had to include this song because this was, as I had mentioned, not Sammy's favorite song, but it did. It was a #1 hit for him after a long period of a dry spell of no hits on the radio. And it's the Candyman, and we're going to end with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you again to Pam Murphy and to Phil Weiner. And we'll see you next week. So let's end with this song, and then I'll say my goodbyes afterwards. And don't laugh too hard if I screw this up. I just downloaded this last night. We're going to give it a shot. All right, everybody, gather around. The Candyman is here. What kind of candy do you want? Sweet chocolate, chocolate malted candy, gumdrops? Anything you want, you've come to the right place, because I'm the Candyman. Woo! Who could take a sunrise? Who can take a sunrise? Sprinkle it with dew. I'm gonna need these. Cover it with chocolate and a miracle or two. The Candyman. The Candyman. Oh, the Candyman can. The Candyman can. The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Makes the world taste good. Who could take a rainbow? Who can take a rainbow? Dip it in the sun. Dip it in the sun. Soak it in the sun and make a groovy lemon pie. The Candyman. The Candyman. Oh, the Candyman can. The Candyman can. The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Makes the world Everybody. Taste good. The Candyman makes everything he bakes satisfying and delicious. Oh, you talk about your childhood wishes. You can even eat the dishes. Whoa, who can take tomorrow? Who can take tomorrow? Dip it in a dream. Dip it in a dream. Separate the sorrow and collect the full cream. The Candyman. The Candyman. Oh, the Candyman can. The Candyman can. The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Everybody help me out again. The Candyman makes everything he bakes satisfying and delicious. Well, talk about your childhood wishes. You can even eat the dishes. Yeah, who can take tomorrow? Dip it in a dream. Separate the sorrow and collect the bowl of cream. The Candyman. The Candyman. Oh, the Candyman can. The Candyman can. Yeah, the Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Makes the world taste good. The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good. Makes the world taste good. A Candyman. A Candyman. A Candyman. Makes the world taste good. Oh, the Candyman. The Candyman. Oh, the Candyman. Makes the world One more time. The Candyman. Oh, the Candyman. The Candyman. Well, thanks again for tuning in, folks. See you again next week for Carmine Sings. And I hope you enjoyed our little tribute, and see you then. Bye-bye. Let me take these off now. I don't need these anymore.